Hello and welcome to Lou Dolphin's Sentinels of the Multiverse weekly one-shot. Here we are with week number 38. This week is a simple plan. Listen, there's nothing to it. You stand there, and old Truthy stands over there, and then I blast those chumps, the kingdom come! It's foolproof! Anvil remained silent as usual, but Truth smirked. We shall see if you can maintain the necessary discipline, Citizen Hammer. Just around the corner, Citizen Dare listened in and thought about killing them. It was a pleasant thought, but Don would just resurrect them anyway. Still, a pleasant thought. So this is a base game against Citizen Don with Fanatic, Absolute Zero, Raw Horus of Two Horizons, and Tempest in Megalopolis. Let's see what goes wrong. The world belongs to the citizens of the sun. Repent, evildoer! You cannot stand against divine might. Alright, so Fanatic starts with a consecrated ground to destroy an ongoing environment and deal damage. Holy Nova to deal damage and have heroes regain HP. A Wrathful Retribution, which is, she only has one copy of this in her deck, and we start with it. A one-shot, discard 3 cards. If you do, Fanatic deals 1 target X radiant damage, where X is Fanatic's maximum HP minus her current HP. So it's a great endgame card, and we have it right away. And a Zealous Offense to stop damage being dealt the turn after this is played, provided she deals enough damage this turn. Absolute Zero starts with the Focus Apertures to increase cold damage. A Horrifier to deal damage, and then hit himself some more. An Exothermic Transducer to turn fire damage into cold damage. And a Modular Realignment to take an equipment from the trash, do something with it, and then hit himself. Ra, Horus of Two Horizons, has a Flame Spike to deal damage and use an additional power. Flesh of the Sun God, making him immune to damage, or fire damage, with the optional power of making hero character cards immune to fire damage as well until the start of his next turn. The Staff of Ra to regain HP, increase damage dealt by Ra, and a one-shot damage dealer power. And a second one. And Tempest starts with an Elemental Subwave Inducer to make all of his damage of a certain type, and to reduce damage to Tempest of that type by 1. A Grievous Hailstorm to deal each non-hero target cold damage, 1 more than his base power. A Lightning Slash as a one-shot dealing 5 lightning damage, that's a lot. And a Shielding Winds to reduce damage to a hero target if it's 5 or more by 2. Now Citizen Dawn. At the start of the game, Citizen Dawn enters play, Leader of the Citizens of the Sun side up. Cards are revealed from the top of the villain deck until 3 citizens are revealed and put into play. Other revealed cards are returned to the villain deck, which is shuffled. At the start of the villain turn, if there are 5 or more citizens in the villain trash, Citizen Dawn flips. She may only flip this way once per game. At the end of the villain turn, Citizen Dawn deals the hero target with the highest HP 2 energy damage. Now, if you flip her by having enough citizens in the trash, Citizen Dawn is immune to damage. Well, whoops. Uh-oh. At the start of the villain turn, if there are 3 or more citizens in play, Citizen Dawn flips. At the end of the villain turn, the top card of the villain deck is played. So if you accidentally flip her, she becomes immune to damage, but then she can flip back if there are 3 or more citizens in play, and once she flips back, she cannot flip back over, and you can destroy citizens willy-nilly. You don't really want to have her flip unless you can, mitigate the fact that she won't flip back until there are 3 or more in play. Citizen Dawn is herself a citizen, so the fact that there have to be 3 or more citizens in play really amounts to there being 2 or more other citizens in play. Now, if you so happen to have 5 citizens in the trash, but still enough citizens in play to flip her back, she will flip and then flip back immediately, and then you can destroy the rest of the citizens without retribution. But by default, all she does is deal the hero target with the highest HP 2 energy damage. That's all she does. That's not hard at all. What could possibly go wrong? Start game. Citizen Truth. Villain targets other than Citizen Truth are immune to damage. Reduce damage dealt to Citizen Truth by 1. When Citizen Dare enters play, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 3 melee damage and destroys this card. Citizen Hammer. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 3 fire damage. And Citizen Anvil. Reduce damage dealt to citizens by 1 at the end of the villain turn. If Citizen Hammer is in the villain trash, put him into play. So these were the citizens described in the description. Truth, Hammer, and Anvil, as well as Dare possibly coming out. Oh hey, look, speaking of the devil, Citizen Dare. Increased damage dealt to hero targets by 1. When Citizen Truth enters play, deal each hero target 1 irreducible psychic damage and destroy this card. Citizen Dare cannot be one of the initial citizens at the start of the game. So he's destroying Citizen Truth because he just entered play. So that effect was Citizen Truth. When Citizen Dare enters play, this card deals to hero target with the highest HP 3 melee and destroys this card. So Citizen Truth was briefly in play and destroyed himself. And Citizen Truth is one of the bad citizens. I mean, all citizens are bad, but this one is particularly bad because villain targets other than Citizen Truth are immune to damage. Thank you very much for that. But furthermore, reduced damage dealt to Citizen Truth by 1. So not only are other villain targets immune, including Citizen Dawn, but there's damage reduction to Citizen Truth by 1, so it's hard to get rid of him, especially when he's paired with Citizen Anvil, who also provides damage reduction by 1. So it's pretty bad. The other hint provided in the one-shot description, there were a few hints. Return with the Dawn. At the end of the villain turn, shuffle the villain trash and reveal cards from the top until a citizen is revealed, put it into play, put the other revealed cards back into the villain trash. So it hinted at the fact that Citizen Dawn is going to pull citizens from the trash. So if we don't destroy any of these citizens, she's going to put Citizen Truth back into play. And Citizen Truth, when he enters play, Citizen Dare is going to deal each hero target 1 irreducible psychic damage and then destroys himself. And then not only is, Citizen Truth back in play and there's damage reduction by 2 to him and everyone else is immune, but Return with the Dawn will pull Citizen Dare from the trash. So this is a careful game we have to play right now. There are only 3 citizens in play and 1 in the trash, so we might want to just try to get rid of all of them in case Return with the Dawn does come out, because then we won't have to worry about Truth coming back up. So what are we going to do for that? This decision, which target is considered to have the highest HP, doesn't matter. This one hits everyone, this one doesn't, this one doesn't. So yeah, it does matter. Whoever is dealt this damage is just going to be taking more damage, so it's between Absolute Zero and Raw. So what do we intend on doing with these people? Well, with the damage reduction by Citizen Anvil, Fanatic will not be capable of dealing damage unless she plays Wrathful Retribution immediately, which don't want to. I want to save that one, but... And if Return of the Dawn, well, it does come out, we do want to have it destroyed, hopefully by, Consecrated Ground or something. But all of her damage dealing outside of that one-shot is by 1. And so Fanatic isn't going to be particularly useful right off the bat. Absolute Zero, Isothermic Transducer is usually useful, except with damage reduction by 1, his base power, we hit himself for 1 fire damage to hit a citizen for 0 cold damage. Focused Apertures would only increase cold damage, so he could hit himself with cold for 2, which would do nothing without the other module. Horrifire would be able to hit one thing for 1, a second thing for 1, and then he hits himself, which is somewhat useful, and then this would do nothing. Raw has 2 staves of Raw, so probably his best bet is to play the Staff of Raw and destroy it to deal 3 damage. And Tempest has a Lightning Slash that can deal 5 damage at once, or a Grievous Hailstorm that can do 2 damage over several things. So the Citizen Anvil is the one we really want to try to get rid of. Are we capable of doing that somehow? Horrifire will do 1 and 1 to a second target, so 0 could do 1. Staff of Ra would do 3. So that's 4 damage we can do to Anvil. And Grievous Hailstorm wouldn't be enough to get rid of Anvil. I mean, you really want to get rid of Citizen Anvil. You don't want to get rid of Citizen Hammer because Anvil will just pull him back. But Hammer is one that you also want to get rid of because he deals each hero target 3 fire damage. Admittedly, I mean, okay, it's not a really good idea. But this is fire damage, right? At the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 3 fire damage. If that hits Absolute Zero with the Isothermic Transducer, Absolute Zero could hit something for 3 cold damage, which could be Citizen Hammer, which takes him out. That only works if Citizen Anvil is not in play and Citizen Truth is not in play. Otherwise, there'll be damage reduction or Citizen Hammer is immune to damage. That's a little risky. I'm kind of scared of the Return of the Dawn, considering the rest of the one-shot description was accurate. Increase damage dealt to hero targets by 1 when Citizen Truth enters play. Deal each target 1 irreducible psychic and destroy this card. I'm not particularly worried about there, even if Truth does come back out, because it will hit us, but he'll destroy himself. I really want to get Anvil out. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm capable of doing that outside of using Lightning Slash, so I guess that's not really an unfortunately. Lightning Slash is great. So that's going to do 4 damage, and Staff of Ra will do 3. So that will take Anvil out. So the question is what to do with the others. Well, I think Fanatic's going to skip twice to draw 2 cards, because these aren't going to be useful right now. Isothermic Transducer, if like Hammer's probably going to survive, or will survive. So putting out the Isothermic Transducer, because even if Return with the Dawn does come out, it won't act until after the citizens have acted. So I can still destroy Citizen Hammer before possibly Citizen Truth comes out. So yeah, Isothermic Transducer for 0, Staff of Ra for Ra, and Lightning Slash for Tempest. So this goes back to what do we want to, or who do we want to hit, and I think we want to hit Ra because he'll regain the HP back. And this is 3 fire damage across the board, rather it's 4 because of Citizen Dare. And there's nothing we could have done about that one. Citizen Hammer was not in the villain trash, of course, and that ends the turn. So no ongoings to destroy. Unless I want everyone to regain 1 HP. Actually, Fanatic has taken how much damage? 8. I could play Wrathful Retribution and destroy Citizen Anvil in 1 shot. If I destroy Citizen Anvil right now, we could also get rid of all the other citizens right now. I mean, it's not bad to play Wrathful Retribution. I'll lose all these cards, but I'll also lose my ongoing destruction, so that's it. But Tempest has a great card for getting cards back from a trash called Reclaim from the Deep. Each player may take a card from their trash and put it on top of their hero deck. He has to draw it first. That's the problem. But no, we know how to get rid of Citizen Anvil. So skip and skip to draw 2. We get a Prayer of Desperation, that's great, for getting cards back, and a Smite the Transgressor. Alright, so the Isothermic, and oh, actually I can hit myself. I can hit myself for 2 because of Citizen Dare. That will transmute out as 2-1. So I can hit something for 1 at the expense of hitting myself for 2. Since he's going to be taking damage from Hammer anyway, I don't know that that's good. Like, I could use it to hit Dare for 1, and then Tempest Squall could hit Dare for 1, but Dare would still be down to 1 and not destroyed, so... So no, I'm not going to do that. Get another Isothermic Transducer, excellent. Alright, so Staff of Ra, and then use it to hit Anvil. Get a Flush of the Sun God. Alright, so now it's Lightning Slash Anvil. So now he's destroyed, wonderful! Now I can get past damage reduction, so let's hit everything for 1. And we draw Shielding Winds, number 2. Megalopolis says, change the type of all damage to melee damage. Ugh. Well, so much for the Isothermic Transducer play. But on the other hand, increase all damage dealt by 1. So, okay. Oh hey, look, Return with the Dawn! So that was the last piece of the puzzle. At the end of the villain turn, shuffle the villain trash and reveal cards from the top until a citizen is revealed, put it into play, put the other revealed cards back into the villain trash. Is considered to have the highest, well... Absolute Zero is not going to be able to regain HP right away, but we still have another Staff of Ra with Ra. So let's hit Ra again. And then this is now 5 fire damage to all the or 5 melee damage to all the heroes. So owie. So now what citizen are you possibly pulling from the trash? Anvil. Okay. That's not as bad as Citizen Truth. Citizen Anvil is providing damage reduction, but at least the other citizens are not immune to damage. Alright, what now, team? Destroy Return with the Dawn? I think that's the best thing we can do. Because none of our other team heroes, none of our other heroes have the means of destroying Return with the Dawn, and while it's out, it's going to be pulling citizens from the trash, which could be Truth, could be Anvil, could be Hammer, could be Dare. And if it's Anvil and Hammer's in the trash, then Hammer's back again. So let's just destroy Return with the Dawn. And then this is 1 damage at least. I am just gonna get rid of these citizens because they're all awful. I don't care what other citizen comes out. These are the ones I don't want. Alright, so this is gonna do 1 and 1. Actually, I could have done that better by not doing that 1 on Dare or something. I could have taken out one of those heroes. Unfortunately, well, Horfire. Oh no, God, no. No, we're not going to do Horfire. I mean, Horfire would be good at hitting a lot of things, but Absolute Zero would just basically beat himself into oblivion. Oh man. Oh, you know what would have been nice for preventing that hammer damage from going through with Shielding Winds? Fun fact. Grievous Hailstorm is gonna do 2 damage. So yeah, I could have not done that damage. I could have done that damage smartly if I had thought ahead, but whatever. So the difference of 1 damage to Dawn. So Cold Snap, or not Cold Snap, Grievous Hailstorm is probably the best bet for Tempest. That's gonna do 2 damage to things. So 2 damage to Anvil. So I want to get Anvil to lose 4 HP. Outside of Tempest's turn. And Staff of Ra would do 4. Flame Spike would do 1. Fanatic can do 2. And none of those other things will hit heroes, or will hit the villains except for Horfire, which will hit Absolute Zero for at least 4 melee damage. So let's see. So best bet is probably just going to play Staff of Ra and destroy it again. He has lots of means of getting Staff of Ra back, so that's probably the best bet. So 4 damage from Staff of Ra, 3 + 1 + 1 -1, 4. And then Cold Snap is 2 + 1 -1 for 2, so that takes care of Anvil. And it will kill Hammer and Dare. So let's just hit Dawn. We get a Prayer of Desperation. Alright, so I think I do want to get more set up with Absolute Zero, so I'm going to put the Focused Apertures out, but I'm not going to use it. It will increase cold damage dealt by Absolute Zero by 1. Guess what? He's not dealing cold damage because of Cramped Quarters combat. And we get another Horfire. Alright, so again, Staff of Ra. Destroy Staff of Ra. We get a Drawn to the Flame. And now let's just grievously Hailstorm and get rid of Anvil right away. Alright. All the citizens are gone. 4 citizens in the trash. Any other citizen you played on, I have to keep in play. But I don't like these citizens. They all suck. The worst is if we now get Citizen Winter. This deals damage. Nice. Alright, environment, what are you gonna do? You can't play cards, you can't use powers. Oh, hey, you can't draw cards. Excellent. We could have destroyed it with Consecrated Ground, but that's okay. Blinding Blast. Citizen Dawn deals each hero target 2 energy damage. Each player discards 2 cards. At least it's no longer increased by 1 or 2. Let's see. What cards do we have to lose? I don't think more than 1 Prayer of Desperation is worth holding on to, so we'll get rid of one of them. And we definitely want to keep Holy Nova. We're probably going to play it. Zealous Offense, currently not useful because we need to be able to play another card that deals damage first. Wrathful Retribution, we're obviously keeping. Smite the Transgressor, at least deals damage, although the additional power not useful. So let's get rid of Zealous Offense, much to everyone's chagrin. And now we already have a modular or an isothermic transducer, so let's get rid of one of them. Modular realignment should definitely hold on to get rid of the Horrifier. I don't need 2 Fleshes of the Sun Gods. Drawn to the Flame is not going to do any damage because there are no ongoings in play. At least Flame Spike deals damage, so we'll get rid of Drawn to the Flame. I don't need 2 Shielding Winds, and let's get rid of the Elemental Subwave Inducer. Alright. Citizens are gone. We can now focus on, like, things. Holy Nova, regain HP, deal damage. Bear in mind, Traffic Pileup is preventing us from drawing cards. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue. I don't know how to deal with that. Do I just want to hit the Traffic Pileup instead of Dawn? Because Traffic Pileup is going to stop us from developing as a team. Let's see. If I Horfire, I can do 2 and 2, it could either be 3 and 2 because cold damage is increased by 1, and then the fire damage would be increased by 1 when it's transmuted out. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And Flame Spike would do 1. That's not exciting. I don't think we're going to do that. Flesh of the Sun God is probably just, you know, what, might as well play that. So we have something. Chain Lightning does 4. Or rather maybe 3, because we would probably want to hit Dawn with that. But no, we'll definitely not be able to destroy Traffic Pileup by Raw's turn. Actually, hold on. Horfire plus the damage, plus his base power. I forgot about the base power. So 3 cold, and then 2 cold for 5, and then 2 more cold for 7. We can destroy it by Absolute Zero's turn. So I'm going to hit Traffic Pileup with this. This is a suicidal Absolute Zero. But we'll deal with that. So this is the cold, so we do the bigger hit to the Traffic Pileup. Then of course hit Dawn with the fire. I guess we could have also hit Absolute Zero with that fire. No. 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 We need cards, badly. It's bad because I was also thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to use Raw's base power to draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. Oh wait, I can't draw cards! Oh, and I have to discard 2 cards! Ah! That would have been terrible to have happen. But no, we can draw cards. So, I'm going to play Flesh of the Sun God. I don't think there's really anything that will deal fire damage except for Citizen Hammer, but hey. And then let's go ahead and use this base power. Draw 3, discard 2. Living Conflagration, Fire Blast, Blazing Tornado. Good cards. I have to lose 2 of these good cards. Blazing Tornado is probably the better one, or best one to keep. It's a power that deals 3 fire damage. And Fire Blast is a one-shot that deals 5 fire damage. I think the other ones that just do 1 fire damage each, except for Living Conflagration, which deals 2 when it enters play, I'm going to get rid of those. And we get a Scorched Earth. Alright, so Chain Lightning I'm going to hold on to. Let's go ahead and play Shielding Winds. Whatever. If it gets destroyed, it gets destroyed. There are several ways that our cards can be destroyed. The absolute worst one being Devastating Aurora. Destroy all hero ongoing cards. Destroy all equipment cards. Destroy all environment cards. Rip setup. But there's also Citizen Autumn that says at the end of the villain turn, destroy all ongoing cards controlled by the hero with the lowest HP. That's absolute 0, so he doesn't have ongoings in place, so that's actually fine. And then there's Citizen Sweat. At the end of the villain turn, destroy one hero ongoing card. This is absolutely going to destroy something all the time. So it's good to have ongoing fodder, especially because we can't destroy her unless we want Citizen Dawn to flip. So no. Alright. Three rounds down. We got another Chain Lightning. Environment now says at the start of the environment turn, this card deals to 2 targets with the highest HP, 5 melee each. That is Citizen Dawn and some hero. Channel the Eclipse. At the end of the villain turn, Citizen Dawn deals herself 2 cold damage. At the start of the villain turn, play the top card of the villain deck. Guess what? We don't have ongoing destruction right now. So that's gonna last. So yeah, we don't have ongoing destruction. I think we're gonna Prayer of Desperation because this lets her draw 4 cards. And we might be able to get another ongoing destruction. So yeah, Channel of the Eclipse is gonna force her to play another card. But the only way we could have like not had that happen was if other hero skipped turns to draw cards, whatever. It's not gonna be bad. It's gonna be fine. So we get a Zealous Offense, a Sanctifying Strike, a Final Dive, and an Undaunted. That is not ongoing destruction. Okay. So I would like to heal, okay? Is that okay? I'm gonna put the null point out. Null points out. I would like to heal. I've taken too many beatings. Impale. That is an ongoing, so we don't want to have that gone. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna Blazing Tornado. I mean, we don't have to destroy Channel the Eclipse. We can just destroy her before she plays something awful. That's always an idea. And let's go ahead and Chain Lightning. Just focusing on Dawn. And then let's Grievously Hailstorm. Otherworldly Resilience, exciting. So this is gonna go off and hit someone. Fanatic, you can take this damage. Oh yeah, it is Shielding Windsist. But Fanatic can take the damage because Wrathful Retribution. As long as she stays alive to play it. Oh hey, police back up! Yes! At the end of the environment turn, deal 1 projectile damage to the villain target with the highest HP. Woo! Take that, Dawn. Even in a picture you're being hit. Free damage! Citizen Summer. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the 2 heroes with the most cards in play 3 fire damage each. That is absolute 0 and either Ra or Tempest. That's fine. Oh right, that's the first card played. The second card played, return with the Dawn number 2. Alright, so who's considered to have the highest? Well, Ra is going to be taking damage from Summer, so let's hit Tempest. And then... oh, right. Ra's not actually going to be taking damage. I could choose to have absolute 0, or Tempest take it. No, we'll have Ra take it. This does 3 damage, which outputs as 4. I don't want to destroy Summer because... oh, wait, no, there will be a Citizen coming back. I might have a choice here. No. Let's hit Dawn until we know what's gonna happen. Oh yeah, and Flesh of the Sun God, right, we do want Ra to take damage, yeah! Citizen Truth is back in place. Villain targets other than Truth are immune to damage. So we have to get rid of Truth again. But Citizen Truth says villain targets other than Citizen Truth are immune to damage. It doesn't say they're indestructible, so I could still destroy a target with 4 fewer HP. Unfortunately, I don't want to do that because I have to get rid of Truth. I absolutely have to get rid of Truth. There's no progressing in this game unless Citizen Truth is gone. But there are 3 other citizens in the trash. Truth is but one of them. If I put Truth in the trash, there are 4 villains in the trash, and then if I destroy Summer to, get rid of Truth, then there'll be 5 citizens in the trash. So no, that's an awful idea. Don't do that. That's silly. Who would want to do that, honestly? Okay, this is not going to hit Truth. This will do 1 damage to Truth. This is less exciting than Shielding Winds. It prevents, whenever exactly 1 damage would be dealt to Fanatic, just prevent that damage. It's not even reduced. Just pretend the damage never happened. It's different than reduction. You just prevent it. But when you be dealt 5 or more damage, reduce it by 2. With Shielding Winds, 5 or more reduced by 2. No, actually, no, it is a better Shielding Winds, except it's local. Wrathful Retribution, again, is great, except Citizen Dawn is immune to damage. And then Zealous Offense. I want to get Zealous Offense out, because then I can stop Citizen Summer from dealing damage, and potentially Citizen Hammer if he comes back out. But I have to be able to deal enough damage to keep it out. Okay, what then are we going to do? Well, I don't want to use Modular Realignment, but it would be a means of dealing 1 cold damage to a villain, and then deal 1 damage with his base power. Impale, I don't want to play with Truth out, and with Truth possibly coming back out. Fire Blast will do 5, and then Blazing Tornado... Well, sorry. Fire Blast will do 4, Blazing Tornado will do 2. Scorched Earth will do 2 damage to each non-hero target, but villain targets other than Truth are immune to damage. Chain Lightning is good. Okay, what to do? What to do? Again, we don't have a means of getting rid of Return with the Dawn. Or Channel the Eclipse. So yeah, Channel the Eclipse and Return with the Dawn, not good. Not good at all. But I can't hit Dawn, so I have to get rid of Truth. And I think we can potentially get rid of Truth by Raw's turn. 4 with Fire Blast, 2 with Blazing Tornado, that's 6 damage. So I just have to hit Truth for 1. And a hero capable of doing that is Absolute Zero with his base power. And none of these other cards, other than maybe Undaunted, but we already have Shielding Winds. I'm going to skip twice again. Hopefully we get an ongoing destruction. Absolution, End of Days. Well... no, End of Days isn't useful. Impale. Is it worth playing on Dawn? I guess the chances of Truth coming out a 2nd time in a row are small. So let's say yes. Let's just try to get rid of Dawn as fast as we can. Hit myself for fire. And then hit Truth. Field Freeze. Ooh! Destroy up to 3 ongoing cards. Absolute Zero deals each non-hero target X cold damage, or X is the number of ongoing cards destroyed by this card. Nice. Alright, we not only have a means of destroying Channel the Eclipse, but Return with the Dawn as well. You just have to last around. So hit Truth. With this, and then Blazing Tornado, and Truth is gone. We get a Fire Blast. Okay. 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 Unless something terrible happens, we might be fine. Unfortunately, something terrible might be using Grievous Hailstorm, because that can potentially kill Citizen Summer by the next turn. Okay. Well, I don't want a Chain Lightning now. I want an Otherworldly Resilience. That will protect me a little bit from future damage. Grievous Hailstorm will do 2 cold. If I use... I guess it doesn't matter either way. With Field Freeze, destroy up to 3 ongoing cards. Deal each non-hero target X cold, where X is the number of ongoing cards destroyed by this card. With 2 ongoings and Focused Apertures, this is going to be 3 cold damage to each non-hero target. So hitting Citizen Summer just once is going to kill her the next round. But Return with the Dawn is going to pull a Citizen from the trash at least. So maybe there's a way to you know, if Citizen Summer dies, maybe we can just live with whatever other citizen there is. Or we just win the next round. Unless Citizen Truth comes out. Localized Hurricane, great. That's better than Grievous Hailstorm because then I can just localize my hurricanes. Alright, Plummeting Monorail hits Dawn, as well as Ra. And then Impending Casualty. At the start of the environment turn, each hero may destroy one of their ongoing cards. This card deals any hero that does not destroy an ongoing card 3 psychic damage. At the end of the environment turn, one player may discard one card to destroy this card. Okay. So it's at least easy to get rid of. Let's see. Let's get rid of Sanctifying Strike. Just because, whatever. I don't want to have to deal with that impending casualty. Citizen Spring comes out because of Channel the Eclipse. At the end of the villain turn, each citizen regains 1 HP. That's okay. That's good. Citizen Tears. At the end of the villain turn, each player discards 1 card. Okay. Citizen pulled from the trash. Oh wait, nope, this is acting first. Unfortunately, Tempest now has more cards than Ra. Oops. But this is gonna do 3 damage to Absolute Zero again, so we could aim that at Dawn, I think, again. There's no way that Absolute Zero is dying before his next turn, at least. And then the Citizen from the trash, Citizen Anvil. Ugh. Okay, whatever. Oh no, he's pulling Citizen Okay, discard a card. Let's get rid of Undaunted. Which, okay, we discarded a card, so please backup's gone. Okay, whatever. I'm definitely playing Field Freeze. So rip Modular Realignment. I don't need 2 Scorched Earths. And, ugh. I wanted to keep Localized Hurricane, but Chain Lightning's gonna be a little bit better in terms of dealing damage. So let's get rid of Localized Hurricane. Citizen Hammer from the trash. This deals each hero target 3 fire. I think this is fine, in all honesty. I mean, it would have been worse if Truth came out, for reasons we'll get into. But I definitely want to hit Fanatic. Trust me on this. Ra's immune to damage, or immune to fire damage, so it doesn't matter. Tempest has otherworldly resilience, so whatever. And Absolute Zero can transmute it back to Dawn. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Because Wrathful Retribution. So let's get rid of Zealous Offense. I'm just gonna get rid of, let's see, Smite the Transgressor and End of Days. And then we'll hit Dawn for 19. Please tell me I didn't do this prematurely. I should be fine, but if I'm not fine, I'll be sad. This is not gonna get through any of the citizens, but I can at least hit the Plummeting Monorail. Because he's not going to be hitting Citizen Dawn now. Undaunted is back. Alright, Impale went off, Field Freeze, we can now destroy Channel the Eclipse, and return with the Dawn. And screw your Shielding Winds, I don't need that either. See, now I'm doing 3 cold damage to everything. Suck it. Order does not matter, right? Anvil's not going down, so... But Lude, you're gonna destroy, like, so many citizens now. Like, Hammer's gone, Summer's gone. There are, like, so many citizens in the trash. I can't even count how many citizens there are, but there have to be, like, 5? 5 in the trash? Maybe? How many are there in the trash? 4. Nope, there are 4. See, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Trust me. This is fine. Oh, there's a modular realignment. Alright, so Fire Blast. And then Blazing Tornado. We did it. Oh my god, the music was timed so perfectly. I'm so sorry. That was like perfect. I'm like, we did it, and then the music was like, dee 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 dee. It's like, oh. Whenever music lines up perfectly like that, it's just amazing. Okay, victory. So that was a pretty balls to the wall game, considering that there were a lot of bad citizens, and I had to act pretty fast to not just deal with them, but also hit Dawn. So, and amazingly, even though like I was like, alright, this is going to be a little screwy, we still ended up with only 4 citizens in the trash, thanks to Return with the Dawn, pulling Citizen Hammer, who also pulled Citizen Anvil. Or no, vice versa. Citizen Anvil, who also pulled Citizen Hammer. Because then if I destroyed 2 citizens with Field Freeze, we still remained with fewer than 5 citizens in the trash. So I had that going for me, which was nice. Yeah, I think that was well played. At least. Oh well, it was well played, at the very least. I don't know, I'm sort of thinking I could have done certain things better, but I also think outside of like the weekly one-shot hint that said, oh yeah, these are the citizens that will come out at the start, and the next card that will be played is Return with the Dawn, that's the only future information I had. Without any other future informations, that would have been, you know... Or if I had more future informations, that would have been like, okay, I could better prepare. But I think with the information that I had, I worked fine. That was actually a fast game, considering that like my past 2 weekly one-shots were like 2 hours or an hour and a half. This is like 40 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of time to talk about Citizen Dawn. Citizen Dawn is a difficulty 3 villain. I'm actually gonna get out of this, but see, I got a mint. These are my HP totals. Exciting. Alright. Citizen Dawn is a difficulty 3 villain. I don't know if you can see that on here. No, you can't. Actually, I wonder if you see it if you reveal her card. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. Show cards, Citizen Dawn. No, it doesn't. Alright. If I start a new game, though, you can see it. Citizen Dawn is a difficulty 3 villain. And it's in a ranking system from 1 to 4, 3 tends to mean that, you know, you don't want to fight Citizen Dawn as one of the first villains you will ever play in this game. So stay away from her if you're new to Sentinels of the Multiverse for sure. It's also a villain that you don't really want to fight unless you have a plan on how to deal with her. I have a lot of experience with Citizen Dawn, so I feel like I'm well equipped for dealing with her. But again, since she flips, if there are 5 or more citizens in the villain trash, and then once she flips, she becomes immune to damage, really, you don't want to get her to flip. That's the main thing to really try to remember with Citizen Dawn. People who are new to the game, especially, they'll fight a villain like Baron Blade. That's probably the best villain to start with. He tends to be... There we go. He tends to be pretty simple. But when you fight Baron Blade, his card says when Baron Blade will be destroyed, his villain character card flips to the Vengeful Mad Scientist side instead, and then he becomes, you know, he's restored to 30 HP, blah 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 blah, and then once you finally destroy him, the game's done. So if you play him first, you're like, okay, there's a flipping mechanic, and this villain flipped, so I'm going to play another difficulty 1 villain like Omnitron. So you play Omnitron, and his flip mechanic is, at the start of the villain turn, Omnitron's villain character card flips, Omnitron flips only once each villain turn. So you fight Omnitron, and you're like, oh, he just keeps flipping. He flips a lot. There's a lot of flipping happening in this game. He keeps flipping. So you fight those 2 difficulty 1 villains, and then you might want to say, alright, I'm going to fight Citizen Dawn now. And then you say, alright, what is Citizen Dawn's flip mechanic? At the start of the villain turn, if there are 5 or more citizens in the villain trash, Citizen Dawn flips. Alright, so I'm going to fight Citizen Dawn, I'm going to put 5 or more citizens in the villain trash just so that she flips. And then you get her to flip, and then you're like, oh shoot, she's immune to damage, and I can't get her flipped back until there are H-1 or more citizens in play. So that's awful. Citizen Dawn challenges the need to flip a villain. An ideal game against Citizen Dawn doesn't feature her flipping unless you can flip her immediately back. I think I mentioned this at the start of the game, but really, if there's one thing to take away from any Citizen Dawn game that you watch, it's that you don't want to flip Citizen Dawn. Flipping a villain is optional, unless the card says, if you will be destroyed, flip this, whatever. Flipping is not necessarily mandatory or needed, like, it's not necessary for victory ever for any villain. Or, not, I shouldn't say ever, it's not... The words I'm trying to say are, it's not in the rules that you have to flip a villain to win. For Citizen Dawn, flipping her is a bad idea. So, the way to think about Citizen Dawn is strategically. At the start of the villain turn, if there are 5 or more in the trash, she flips. That means you could put at most 4 citizens in the trash. The 4 citizens we started with in that game were all pretty awful. Citizen Anvil is permanent damage reduction, or I shouldn't say permanent, while this card is out, damage reduction, as well as put Citizen Hammer from the trash into play. And since we had Hammer, anytime we would destroy Hammer, he comes back anyway, and he deals each hero target 3 fire damage. 3 fire damage is a lot of damage at once. He's dealing that to each hero target, so a lot of damage across the board with Citizen Hammer out, and Citizen Anvil likes to pull him back. We also had Citizen Truth, who is a terrible one because this prevents you from hitting Citizen Dawn, and trying to get rid of him sucks because he has innate damage reduction. Although he does have an alternate destruction effect, which is when Citizen Dare enters play, which he did in this game, and Citizen Dare also is bad because increased damage dealt to hero targets by 1. Now this isn't, strictly speaking, that awful, because if villain targets can't deal damage by some means, then increased damage dealt by 1 doesn't matter. Or if you think you can just weather the storm, have permanent damage increase, that, okay, more power to you. I mean, Absolute Zero actually is okay with Citizen Dare. Like, he'll take more damage, but like with the increased damage dealt to hero targets by 1, he will hit himself a lot more. He'll hit himself for +1. So like his base power, instead of being 1 fire damage or 1 cold damage to himself, it becomes 2 fire damage or 2 cold damage to himself, which increases the potency of his modules. But this does have, this is more detrimental to the heroes overall. The citizens we never saw in the game, I mentioned Citizen Autumn for ongoing card destruction, Citizen Sweat also for ongoing destruction, and we saw briefly, well, Citizen Summer we also saw. We briefly saw Citizen Spring, and we also saw Citizen Tears. Citizen Tears is a bad one because you're always discarding 1 card each villain turn while this is out. Actually, you get to discard more if Citizen Sweat is in play as well. And having to discard 1 card per round actually means you're losing cards overall. In a general game of Sentinels with play, power, draw, you play 1 card and you draw a card, so you profit 0 cards on your turn. If some external force forces you to discard 1 card, you're actually losing 1 card per round. So Citizen Tears is a bad one, unless it comes out very late, at which point you don't really care. What have we not seen? Citizen Assault we didn't see. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 1 melee damage. If Citizen Battery is in play, increased damage dealt by Citizen Assault by 1. This is not a bad one. This is a fine one. It deals each hero target 1 melee. That's much less than deal each hero target 3 fire damage, or Citizen Winter, which is deal each hero target 2 cold damage. This is one that's worse than Assault, better than Hammer. I mean, Assault does get increased by 1, at which point he becomes basically Citizen Winter, except with the type of damage, but yeah. But Citizen Spring is probably the best Citizen to have, because all she does is regain HP for each Citizen. This does include Citizen Dawn, so Citizen Dawn would regain 1 HP, but Citizen Spring is otherwise useful because when you try to not get too many citizens destroyed, you might end up hitting citizens without the intent of actually destroying them. Citizen Spring will allow them to regain HP, so you can hit them, like with Tempest Squall, which hits everyone for 1, then Citizen Spring would undo that, for instance. I think that was all the citizens, actually. No, Citizen Battery. At the end of the villain turn, hero target with the highest HP, 3 energy. It's increased by 2 if Citizen Assault is in play, so it's only, like, damage to the highest HP hero is fine, because that will cycle through the heroes. The ones that are worse are the lowest HP one, which is Citizen Blood. This card deals the hero target with the lowest HP 1 melee damage, because whoever's the lowest will then become lowester, whereas whoever's highest might become second highest after that damage is dealt. Yeah. So, yeah. So, again, be strategic when you play Citizen Dawn. Don't get her to flip unless, and I feel like I've said this 5 or 6 times, but it's worth stating, once she's on this side, she's immune to damage, she flips back if there are H-1 or more citizens in play, which includes Citizen Dawn, so it's really if there are H-2 other citizens in play. So with a team of 4 heroes, you need 2 more citizens in play than Dawn in order for her to flip back. If you manage to get 5 citizens in the trash, but still have 3 citizens in play, on the turn that she first flips, she will then flip back immediately, and then she's already flipped this way once that game, and then you can destroy citizens indiscriminately. That's really the only situation where I would say you can go ahead and flip Citizen Dawn. I would not recommend doing that if you're not sure that the environment's going to destroy citizens. I would not recommend doing this if you know, are like, alright, I hate all these citizens, I'm just gonna have her flip and we'll try to get her to flip back because she'll play more cards. The card we didn't see this game, but I did mention, that destroys everything. You know, this is one of my least favorite cards because it's so potent and so bad, and she has 2 copies of it in her deck. So if you let her play additional cards, she's more likely to pull these cards out of her deck. The best thing she can actually do is to play both of these, like, play one at the start of the game, play one on round 2, and then they're both gone forever until she shuffles. Anyway, I'm done. That was 10 minutes of talk beyond the game, so I'm sure that's fine. Hope you enjoyed this one shot. Hopefully you got a mint or fine, or not fine. Near mint is next best, and then fine is the one after that, or is it good? I honestly don't remember. Fine is the next best one. Hopefully you got a near mint at least, hopefully a mint, but this does seem like you have to be pretty fast in order to get the mint, otherwise you just lose. Good night.